Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's cruise news. I have a couple of cruise news stories for you today, and we're going to start off with Princess Cruise Lines. So Princess Cruise Lines has announced that for the first time ever, they are going to be homeporting from Port Canaveral. So beginning in November of 2024, the Caribbean Princess is going to winter in Port Canaveral, and it'll be the first time that they have offered cruises from that particular port. Now they're going to be doing both Eastern and Western Caribbean cruises, so if you like to sail from Port Canaveral, want to try Princess Cruise Lines or love Princess Cruise Lines, well, you're going to have another home port that they're going to be sailing from. Next up, we have a story of a medical evacuation at sea. Now, this isn't your normal medical evacuation at sea. Wasn't for heart attack or stroke or anything like that. Unfortunately, this passenger swallowed a battery. Now, while they didn't say exactly what type of battery, we kind of assumed that it was probably, like a hearing aid battery, some type of small battery that maybe got mixed up with something that it shouldn't have. The passenger was in their late 80s, and after swallowing the battery, began complaining of some gastrointestinal issues, went down to medical. It was determined that the best course of action was to go ahead and evacuate the passenger back to Galveston. So the Coast Guard came out, airlifted him off the ship, and of course returned him to the nearest medical facility. And unfortunately, not only did this passenger swallow a battery that required a medical evacuation, this happened only 50 miles outside of Galveston, so it was right after embarkation. So they had to be medically evacuated, and they had to miss their cruise over what I'm guessing is probably, some kind of mistake, but we don't have a whole lot of information other than a battery was swallowed and a passenger was evacuated. But it was reported that after they were returned to Galveston, that the passenger is doing okay and should have no further complications from swallowing a battery. And finally, we have a story about, the only thing I can call this one is the sick and the dumb, because this particular passenger is just a combination of those two particular things. So back on the April 29th sailing of Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas, a hidden camera was found in the restroom back on the top deck near the flow rider at the aft of the ship. Now, apparently this camera had been there for around 24 hours, had been taking pictures of people that were in the restroom. They estimate about 150 passengers had had their picture taken in different states of undress. And this included about 40 of them that were minors as low as the age of around 3 or 4. So y'all see where I'm getting the sick part from right here, because who wants to put a hidden camera in a bathroom? Who wants to take pictures of people changing and pictures of children? But on May 1st, a passenger went into this bathroom, noticed the hidden camera, immediately reported it to security. Security went in there, of course, and confiscated the camera, and they were able to find the individual that placed it there, interview him, and he admitted to putting it there. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, how were they able to find him so quickly? How did ship security know exactly who to look for? Well, this is kind of where the dumb part comes in. First of all, it was dumb for even doing this. But on top of that, he was dumb because essentially he caught himself. So they pulled the memory card out of the camera to see what was on it. And there at the very beginning of all of these pictures of passengers was his picture. Multiple pictures of him setting up and adjusting the camera. So they immediately could tell whose camera it was because there was evidence of him setting it up. So you're absolutely sick for thinking you need to put a camera in a bathroom, and dumb for taking pictures of yourself or allowing the camera to take pictures of you while you're setting it up. So there's now evidence that it was you and that you did it. Well, now he is in custody of the FBI. He has been arrested. He has been charged. And at this point, the evidence definitely says he looks really, really guilty. I mean, they have, photo evidence of his guilt, and with pictures of minors and children and stuff on there, he's gonna end up facing some charges. So let this kind of be a tip out there too. If you are going into a public space on a cruise ship, like one of the bathrooms where you may be doing something, removing clothes, anything like that, just kind of take an extra look at your surroundings. Kind of check the corners, check, behind things real quickly, just to make sure this isn't something that's going to happen to you. A little extra vigilance, just to be on the safe side. Don't want to see this happening to anybody else, because there unfortunately are these kind of people out there in the world. So we got to look out for them. We got to make sure they don't get us. Kind of look out for each other, and do everything we can to keep cruising a safe family vacation. All right, and that's going to be our cruise news video for today. If you have enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps this channel grow. Let you know anytime a new video comes out. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.